and that God gives or allows things. He doesn't give these things to you. He allows these to happen for a reason.
Right.
And maybe one of the reasons is so he can get honor and glory from how you handle them.
Right.
And he gives things or allows things to happen to people. I think he knows they can handle it.
Right.
So I'm thankful that he felt that our family was able to take on this
Right.
responsibility for him.
And as we were talking and listening to the music and talking in between, as I told Miss Brown, I said, you know, I'm humbled because, you know, to be with people who God gives that kind of strength and inner strength to take care, loving your children, absolutely they were your children, but to not have gotten caught up in the why of things, you know. But out of that, you've written a book that's going to touch and bless hundreds, thousands of people, and many of them are going through right now what you are going through and have been through. And I can't help but think, you know, I claim in all of that Romans 8:28, we know that all things work together for good to those that love the Lord, called according to his purpose. It didn't say that everything that would happen would be good, but he takes the good and he takes the bad. And from my standpoint, it would be bad. But you've been through it, it would be good. But I'm saying he takes it all and he works it together for that good. What's the most difficult situation you can remember?
I would have to say there were two.
Okay.
First one would be when Douglas was born.
Okay.
And the day I got that message and the way my body responded to that. Then the second one, I think, was when Amy went through some testing, when they decided there was a problem for her. She went through testing, and when my husband and I kind of drew a deep breath and went into the office to get the response to the tests, I was kind of watching the doctor's demeanor, thinking maybe he'll have an upbeat look, but I knew right away it must not be good news, and it wasn't. He said, you have the same situation of severe, profound brain damage with Amy as Douglas.
My. You know, as pastor, I've been with so many ladies over the years as their babies are born. And I see that excitement in their eyes before they've been rolled away into labor and delivery, and their expectations. And I prayed with so many that God, and today they know what the gender is.
Right.
And we would pray, God, make this a godly young man or a beautiful young lady who's going to win people and propagate the gospel. And we prayed and we've wept and we've thanked God. And only on a few occasions have I seen a mother come back whose heart was broken. Oh, she was grateful for the baby, but her heart was broken. And was your heart broken?
At the birth? No, because I had been joyfully looking forward to a wonderful time.
Right.
And at a very early age, it didn't turn out to be that wonderful time, but I knew that I had to take it in stride and do what had to be done to get the job done.
Right. And I would think you have so much to offer. And encouraging people who are walking right where you are. You said, you were sharing with me about, sharing with us a little bit earlier, that there came a point in your care for the kids that you had to place them in better care. Now, there's nobody that can love like Mommy and Daddy. It was a love they had to receive, but it was more of a professional type medical care that we're talking about that you had to. Because had you not done that, would that have shortened their lives?
No, actually the medical situation that caused them to be taken away from the home was my husband started to go blind.
Oh my, bless your heart.
And at that point the doctor said, we know what you've told us, but this is the time that you're going to have to make the decision. We had said we would not do institution for the children unless there was a physical, an emotional, or if it affected another child in the family. And so the doctor said, you've come to that point. It's both a physical and an emotional problem, because he can't sit around watching you pick the children up, and he can't pick them up because we don't really know for sure what's caused this eye problem. So this is the time that you're going to have to make that decision.
So both Douglas and Amy were blind, is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes.
And you're trying to care for them. Lisa is helping you, and now here's your husband going blind.
Right.
My gracious. If there's someone out there with a story like that, and you feel like you've been defeated and whipped, shame on you when you hear a woman of this stature and this caliber who said, Lord, you've placed this upon me. I'm going to love my kids, and I'm going to write a book to help people maybe just like you. Would you call a prayer partner and share with them? Maybe if you want to find out how we can get these books, we'll let you know that. Okay? They're standing by. Prayer partners are. Maybe this dear lady, Miss Brown, has touched your heart. And maybe it's just a cause of reflection and rededication. Maybe your children are gone. Maybe the Lord's taken them home. But you just want in a way of thanking Him for however many years He gave them to you. Give us a call, would you? We'll pray with you and celebrate that. We'll rekindle that for you, okay? We'll do it. And by the way, we're waiting on those prayer requests to come in. Keep calling those numbers, would you please? If you had to do it all over again, loaded question, would you do it again?
That is really a loaded question. Yes. Yes, I think I would.
Yeah.
Because we had some wonderful times, even though there were some difficult times also.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
But to have them, as they were little babies, and 6 months, 9 months, were they able to do any of the things a 6 or 9 month old would do? Maybe crawl, or maybe smile, or things of that nature?
No crawling.
No crawling.
No walking. Smiling, yes. And I think this brings a funny story.
Tell us, please.
Lisa found that if she would take a big book like an encyclopedia and slam it like this around Douglas, he would just about fall off the chair laughing.
Okay.
So this went on in our house a lot of times.
Well, that's good, though. I mean, and we don't know what was in his mind.
No. And that brings up another interesting question. When Douglas was in the hospital one time, not too long before he passed away, he had pneumonia, and the doctor called us out into the hall to talk to us about his condition. And he said, the reason I've called you into the hallway to talk is never talk about Douglas or Amy about something you would not want them to hear, because you do not know what they can hear but are not able to respond back to you.
Right.
So we have kept that in our mind over the years. That
Oh, my goodness gracious. And you know, as we were talking, you can't help but think, okay? I don't know this, okay? I don't know this. The Bible does not say it directly, or maybe even indirectly, but you can't help but wonder now that Douglas is in glory, because he's one of the Lord's special children. And if the Lord were to just give him just a special moment of blessing, to allow him to look over that precipice down, I wonder, would he be saying, hey, Jesus, that's Mama. That's my Mama.
I'm sure he does recognize his mother now.
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe he's saying, my Mama wrote a book about me.
Well,
And you know, really, you did.
true.
You did. And I again, as I said, I salute you for this, because there's got to be, over the course of life, maybe people have maybe said, how have you done this? Or why, have you ever thought why God put you in this place? Of why did he put y'all through this? Have you ever had folks to come and maybe say that to you?
Once in a while, and I've never really known how to answer that question, except maybe our children were the teaching tools because they came along in life about the time that people like them were being taken out of institutional living. And I've kind of felt maybe they were the teaching tools to help the public understand other people like my children.
Right, right. And I can't help but think that Lisa also has to be one of the folks who is, I mean, I understand I use the term loosely, a winner out of all of this, because I think of what she has learned from you, her daddy, and from her brother and her sister. She has to be so well equipped. I don't know where she is or where she is in life today, but she has to have come away a better person.
Of course, her mother thinks so.
And I mean, really, and I mean, she would, to have watched this and for her to have given that love as a caregiver, almost as a surrogate mom or dad or whatever, if you will, she has to be a shining star for you as well. I know all your kids were, but she's got to be one too.
Well, we were kind of interested in the fact that she chose nursing. Because she was a nurse along with her mom.
Right.
And you would think when she was able to get out and choose what she wanted, she would have chosen something different.
And yet, and you know, could it be that she is there in nursing because of what she learned at home with her brother and sister and what she perceived in mom and dad's heart?
That could be. Yeah, that could be.
And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. You know, you tell her, she doesn't know me and I don't know her, but you tell her that Pastor Benny says she ought to write a book from the perspective of being the middle child. Could you imagine what that?
Yes.
Ooh, that could be a bestseller. Where can these books be purchased, by the way?
Well, I have them in my.
If they go to your website.
Yes, they can go to my website and request, and I mail them all over the world.
Okay, all right.
And they are also available on Amazon.
Amazon.
And Barnes & Noble.
Barnes & Noble.
And they're a cross book, and they're available at Lifeway.
Okay, at Lifeway as well. Bundles of Joy, and I think it, and again, in her candid, true account of the joys and trying times of being the mother of two special gifts from heaven. My. Brown recalls her journey through life. And when you go back and read this, does it come back to you some of the experiences you had?
Yes, I think the most difficult part of writing that book was pulling all those things out of my memory.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Yeah, that was difficult.
I mean, because was it painful?
Not painful, but it made me wonder, how did we ever do this?
Right.
It was just that sort of situation.
Right.
And actually, after the book was written, the incidents keep coming. So you think, well, I didn't put that in there, but how did we do that?
Well, I want to tell you something, Miss Janice Brown. You blessed my heart tonight.
Thank you.
I want you to know, I know you blessed the folks in the audience, and I hope she's been a blessing to you. And you can get that book, Barnes & Noble, Amazon.com. Give her a call. Go to the website, will you? It's an interesting website. And I want to thank you for being with us. And may the Lord richly bless you. You've blessed my heart, and I'm the better for being here tonight. I'm so glad I am. May He bless you all.
Thank you.
Right now, Vicki McLean and Jerry Stepp, oh, they're singing one of my favorites, More Than Wonderful. Come on, Jerry.